Now, Florida's Attorney General Ashley Moody is writing to President Biden. She says, quote, more than 200 Americans die every day from opioids, primarily fentanyl, leaving broken families struggling with incomprehensible loss. I urge you to take immediate and decisive action to protect Americans and declare fentanyl a weapon of mass destruction. The Attorney General, Ashley Moody, joins me now for this exclusive. Let's start here. Why is it that fentanyl has suddenly become the drug of choice for pushers and dealers out on the streets? I keep reading that it's laced with nearly every kind of street drug plus prescription drugs out there right now.
Great question, Jillian. You know, we are seeing mass incidents of overdose, primarily fentanyl, occurring at an alarming exponential rate. And we're seeing this because through Mexico, these drugs are being manufactured in mass quantities. And because of the open border and the narco traffickers having pretty much free reign across our border, there is plenty of supply now here in the United States. And that makes it readily available and extraordinarily cheap for these drug dealers to then lace with other substances. And I'll just compare that for you. We had a case in October of 2020 where we overheard major drug traffickers saying, now remember when this is, October 2020. On that case, in that wire, they said, you know, it's drying up. They're seizing everything at the border and prices are going up. So we know things can be done. We know proactive steps can be taken. And the reason and why it's everywhere and we're seeing increasing numbers of mass incidents is because there is so much supply right now here in the United States.
It's pretty easy, based on what you're telling us, to see why classifying fentanyl as a weapon of mass destruction makes rhetorical sense, right? But what practical effect would it have if the president agrees to your proposal?
Well, that's a great question. I mean, we're seeing over 200 Americans die every single day from opioid abuse, most of those from fentanyl. And you mentioned our small rural county that last year didn't even have an overdose death, but yet we just had 19 overdoses with 9 deaths over the holiday weekend. And just this past week, law enforcement rolled up on a convenience store and found 7 people unconscious. I mean, this is a drug that even the DEA head said, this is the deadliest drug we have ever seen. We need more than the normal approach that we have with our agencies right now. I have serious doubts about DHS and them seriously wanting to protect this country and preclude this country from being overrun with fentanyl and drug traffickers. So let's overlay that, not only with DEA, but with DOD. Let's go at this as we're monitoring other types of chemical weapons. Let's include fentanyl. It's killing the most Americans right now, 18 to 45. We have to take a new and novel approach. Heck, we need some proactive steps from this administration, aside from it's not our fault, somebody else should do it. You know, that's the typical playbook we've seen. Let's take some drastic steps. Let's get everyone, all hands on deck. And also, let's start holding Mexico accountable to do their part.
Sounds like a pretty decent plan. Attorney General Ashley Moody, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Of course. Great to be with you.
You bet.